In case you missed it, here's a Sports Animal Rewind.
Time to put an eye on the SEC. The undisputed best conference.
Champions of the college football world.
The fans.
SEC!
The talent.
I know one thing, the SEC just got a little tougher.
The University of Tennessee.
Details, small details.
Let's put an eye on the SEC. And for that, we preview Tennessee's opponent on Saturday in Columbia, Missouri. Missouri Tigers head coach Gary Pinkel joins us here on the News Sentinel sports page in Knoxville. Hey, Coach, Vince Ferrara and Ben Fredrickson. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
We're great. You remember Ben Fredrickson? He was just fresh off of covering you just a few weeks ago. We took him to the other side working for the News Sentinel over here, Coach. Well, Coach, certainly we played that soundbite of you in the postgame, and it was disappointing. What did you say to your team, and then how have you seen them react after that disappointing loss?
Well, I think there was a stinging loss. Every loss is difficult, but I think when you have a loss like that and you're kind of numb on the field, it was difficult. But we're pretty consistent around here. You win. How you handle a win is not a whole lot different than how you handle a loss. You got to let it go and move on and get focused for your next team. A lot of goals are still out there, and I think our team's doing great and excited about getting practice in today.
Coach, obviously the situation of how that game ended was tough. What did you see? And I saw Vahe Gregorian of the Kansas City Star had a great column today about kind of the way the guys rallied around Andrew Baggett. Can you kind of describe what you saw after that field goal miss and what you saw in the locker room that fans didn't get a chance to see?
Well, I just think we embrace one another. We're very close here. It's like a family. And one thing I always talk to the team about is every play we make out there, whether it's good or bad, we all made it. And that's part of that's the collective unity that we have as a football team and a football program. So we have to embrace one another, and we will do that. And it didn't surprise me at all.
Gary Pinkel, Missouri Tigers head coach, joining us here on the News Sentinel sports page. Vince Ferrara, Ben Fredrickson here in Knoxville. Coach, Matty Mock has taken over since James Franklin went down. What have you seen from Matty Mock so far in his time as your quarterback?
Well, he's a redshirt freshman, and he came in the fourth quarter with a 2-point lead at Georgia. And led us to a couple scores there, and Florida played pretty good here. His first full start. And then played South Carolina, and he did some good things. And every game he's in, he's done well. He's a great competitor. He'll improve. I think he's very talented. He's got a lot of good people around him, but he'll keep getting better and better as he goes.
Butch Jones yesterday talked about how he tried to get Matty Mock to Cincinnati. Well, how fierce was that recruiting battle between Butch Jones at Cincinnati and Gary Pinkel at Missouri for Matty Mock?
Well, it was really, honestly, the way it boiled down at the end was it was between Michigan, Notre Dame, and us. Mm-hmm. And so we were very fortunate to get him. And but he's young. I never had a freshman quarterback, a first-year quarterback, play the games he's been in, and now we're playing a real good Tennessee team. So you talk about throwing in the fires. It's unique, but he's a great competitor, and he's got a lot of support around him.
How much, if at all, has your offense changed with Matty Mock as your QB as opposed to James Franklin?
Well, I don't think a lot. I think there's certainly things that we want to make sure he does that he feels comfortable with. The playbook's probably not as big, just because he's so young. James is having a great year and is a 4-year starter or 3-year starter, so it's a lot different, and it'll change for any quarterback. Certainly, Matty will change. Things will start slowing down a little bit. He'll see more. He'll be able to do more in terms of reads and go to different places with the ball and mismatches and things like that. But overall, we're running pretty much our offense.
Coach, we saw that James made an appearance on the most recent Mizzou depth chart released Monday. I guess can you give us the latest on his status on trying to come back?
Well, I just did the same thing I did at my press conference yesterday, that he's going to be a third team. We're going to start getting him some work, and when he's ready to move up, he'll do it on his pace. And he's certainly questionable this week, without doubt. Will we get him back this week? Next week we have a bye week after that. So I think we'll get him back for sure after that bye week. So they said it was a 3 to 5 week injury. Medical staff makes those decisions, but when he's ready, he'll start, because that's where obviously that's where he was a few weeks ago.
Coach, what's been the difference? You guys are playing some tremendous defense, the tenacity and getting after the quarterback on that with your front seven, especially the D-line, has been impressive. Talk about Michael Sam specifically and how he's improved in making plays for you.
Well, he's always been, a good athlete, and he had a good year a year ago, as a starter. But I just think you got a player that's, he's one of those guys that kind of just took the next step. His intensity and his enthusiasm at heart, he's playing each and every play. And with that, if you got a good athlete that can run and is athletic and can change direction, it just puts himself in position to make more plays. So we're real excited about how he's playing, and up front, and that kind of sets the bar high for everybody, and I think I think overall we're getting better on defense. I think we're a lot better football team than we were 8-9 weeks ago, but certainly on defense also. And it all starts there, and both sides of the football. It all starts up front.
I guess one of the things Coach Jones talked about yesterday in his presser was the receivers. I guess can you take us through kind of the rotation that you guys are working with there, because it seems like you've got kind of playmakers all over the field at the receiver positions.
Well, they're a little more experienced than they have been, obviously, because a lot of them are juniors and seniors. We got some couple young guys too that I think are talented. But we play a lot of guys. We play about I think we play 7 receivers, 8 receivers. We do a lot of rotation and keep them fresh. But two people talk about the size of our receivers. We don't really recruit guys that they have to be 6'2" or 6'3" to play receiver. That really is not what we do. We look for guys with speed potential and guys that can make plays. And we're getting a lot of good work out of the Damian Washingtons. Having a heck of a year. One of our receivers, Marcus Lucas, Doyle Green Beckham. I can go on and on. Bud Sasser, Jimmy Hunt, a bunch of guys that there's no I caught more balls than you, or I need to catch more balls. That doesn't happen with these guys, and it's a pretty good situation.
Gary Pinkel, Missouri head coach, joining us here on the new Sentinel Sports page. Coach, what did you learn in year one in the SEC that maybe has helped shape this football team at this point now?
Stay healthy. That's what I learned. We didn't change anything. We didn't change anything. We didn't change anything, except we did things to try to keep our players fresher, and we really try to be health conscious with our players. That's really the only thing we did. We didn't. Other than that, we didn't change anything. It's a great league. I mean, it's just it's such a week in, week out, you play good people. There's no drop-offs. You play. We come off. We play Georgia, then we play Florida, then we play South Carolina, then heck, we play Tennessee. Then it just keeps coming. And but that's a great thing about it. If you're a competitor, and you like to compete, then this is the position you want to be.
Your team plays with sort of, it looks like, a tenacity and a chip on its shoulder. Where does that come from, in your opinion?
Well, I just want our guys to have fun. I want them to go out and it's I always talk about preparing. This is my Don James background. Preparing, from Sunday all the way through until kickoff. When you wake up Saturday, you're ready to play, and you know that your teammates have done that. And the mental side of this sport is mammoth. I think when your kids get that, then they prepare the right way. Then they have a right to trust that and go play and have fun playing. And so I think we've been preparing pretty good. I think we're a very competitive team. But it's we have to beat in this league because it's each week such a battle.
Coach, I obviously brought up Coach James. I know you were extremely close to Coach James and had a chance to get back for his memorial service. Can you, I guess, tell us a little bit about that event and just kind of what he meant for not just you, but for a lot of college football coaches in the game right now?
Well, yeah, it was the players he touched and coaches. It was interesting from my standpoint. I played for him at Kent State University. Jack Lambert was on that team. Nick Saban was on that team, and won the first championship and bowl game ever in the history of the school there. And then I worked with him at Washington, so I'm one of the few guys, the only guy really that worked with him as a full-time coach and played for him. And so our program is Don James' program. That's what it is. this is the foundation. That's what we've done since I left Washington. We built a program in Toledo, and we built one here in Missouri. And he's just a phenomenal man, a very humble man with won a national championship in 1992. Just a great man that not only had a huge influence on coaches, but more so influence on players. When I was back there, Carol James's wife asked me to speak at it, and they flew me out there Sunday back to Seattle. And I coached there for 12 years, and saw a lot of people, but also so many players that played for him were there, and I hadn't seen for 25 years. It was just a really neat tribute to a icon in coaching that did things the right way, and was a man with tremendous integrity and first class, and he touched so many lives.
Last couple things with you, Coach. We appreciate your time. What do you see from this Tennessee football team when you study and prepare for them?
Well, I think you see, the defense, they're real good up front on defense, very athletic. A.J. Johnson's a great player, not a good player, but a great player. They have their scheme on defense is very, very complex and presents a lot of problems for us. So, it's very, very talented. Offensively, I know the quarterback situation like we're in, we're in a dual quarterback situation. Justin, I think, does some real good things. Dobbs comes in and plays as a true freshman, and so we're expecting to see both of them. Running back played against him last year, really good player. A really good player, high level SEC player. Young receivers, but talented, and offensive line's good. So we're playing. Welcome to the SEC. Every week you play. Every week you got to strap it on and play at a high level. And so we're expecting a very difficult game.
How much does that make it more difficult when you don't know what who the opposing team's starting quarterback will be to have to prepare for multiple guys?
I think what you always do, even if the backup is not played it down, I think every defensive coordinator says, okay, do we have any film on the backup? Because if that backup goes in, you have to have a plan. You don't just game day look at it and say, gosh, what are we going to do now? So I think you always do that. Obviously, if you got some video on it that you have, and you can really kind of formulate maybe how they're going to call plays, how it's going to be. But it's all preparation. It's all preparation, and you got to just have your team prepared for each one.
Last thing with you, Coach, and we'll cut you loose. How well do you know Butch Jones, and what do you think about the job he's done at Tennessee so far?
I know him as more as a colleague. I've met him a couple times. Obviously, I know him now because of the SEC meetings, and I've heard nothing but great things about him. Did a great job at Cincinnati. Very impressed, was not surprised at all that Tennessee went after him, and I think he'll, unfortunately for me and the rest of the guys in the East Conference, I think he'll do a great job.
I do want to squeeze in one other thing. E.J. Gaines was listed as questionable. Is that his latest status?
Yeah, on my press conference yesterday, I said he would play.